do this.
Welcome back, family. Team Ohana here. I'm your host, Rich, and we're going to be checking out the CovrPrice top 20 books for August 12th, 2024. Yeah, and actually, I was really worried about this because I started looking about an hour ago to try to preload all the tabs, and it still had last week's list. I'm like, okay, so what if they don't have it? So I went and I actually started looking at the CBSI list because they only have 10, but you know, uh, JP's Budget Collecting already does that. So I didn't want to step on his toes. And you should be checking out JP's Budget Collecting anyway. Anyway, so I checked it about quarter to eight, sorry, 15 minutes ago. And yep, sure enough, the CovrPrice top 20 list, which is the top 10 plus the honorable mentions. So we can do a normal schedule, normal show. Robert Monroe's already checking in. Good evening, Rich and the Coconut family. And the Coconut family? Hope you all had a great weekend. Yeah, and before we get into this, I just want to say that you noticed on Saturday there was no uh, final order cutoff books of interest. I started looking at the views. The final order cutoff, that video is the one that takes the longest amount of time, the most amount of effort to try to make. I mean, it takes hours and hours to go through all these books and try and find them and get the tabs all ready and then record it. And it doesn't seem based on viewership that it's really that interesting to people. So until I hear otherwise, I'm not gonna do that video anymore. Um, for those of you that were watching it, I apologize, but I think when I looked at it the other day, I think I had like 9 views. I'm at 9 views for it took me longer to make the video than it took for those 9 people to watch it. So, no, I'm not trying to be insulting to the 9 people that did watch it. I do appreciate it, but I do have to try to use my time a little bit wisely if possible. Sega Buns is saying that he just read Space Ghost #4, and it is such a fun read. Awesome. So we do have a new list up this week. It's a lot of the same books as last week. Sega Buns, did you see Deadpool yet? Because there will be some, I guess you'd say, spoilers or little things that I don't want to just jump into that without asking you, sir. Hopefully you've seen it. Of course, I got a couple of people at work that were asking me, have you seen it yet? I want to know if it's worth seeing. Okay, so after 3 weeks, if you haven't gone on and just like watched Rotten Tomatoes, checked out reviews, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, I'm just going to try to jump right into this list. No, but I'll just mute you. I'm going to mute you. All right. Hey, mute this. All right. Hey. All right. So the first book up on the list, coming in number 20, is Gambit #1 from 1993. It's an interesting one to see here on the list. I have seen it in the past, but just not recently. This is like a Gambit is all foil, if I remember correctly. It's like a gold foil. Everything else is just like a black page. And this is very sensitive book for, like hard to get a 9.8. I remember that. Highest known value 2021 was 228. FMV currently is 154. And the last sale the other day was at 188. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, if you go on to CovrPrice's site, and when it says the top, there's a little box that has like a little info thing. You click on it, and it says that they are not using any manual information here. It's not like there's somebody sitting at a desk going, you know what, I think this is a hot book. Everything that's on this hot list is just pulled in by their data, their automatic, the computers showing quantity of books sold, spikes in the prices, demand, everything else, and fed through an algorithm, which everything is done these days. So if there are books on here or there are prices on here that you don't like, remember, this is not CovrPrice. They're just reporting what we as a comic community are doing. So we just got to kind of be mad at ourselves. Anyway, though, this book has gone up. It just sold for $34 above fair market value in a 9.8. But the high grade raws are selling for 10 to 15. Which way do you think I'd be going? Let's see if I can find out what this books was selling for. I don't know, a month ago. 129, 126. Oh wow, look at this. On 8.5 and 8.6, it sold for 125 and 26. Only the sale on 8.8 went 187. Everything else has actually been much, much, much lower. We even have one earlier this year at $94 for a 9.8. That actually seems more realistic. So this is only spike. This is spiking because of one high sale, which is possible. It could have been a newsstand version that got mislabeled, but yeah, it's possible. I don't think that this is worth 180 bucks. I don't think it's worth 150 bucks. It's worth 120 to $130, which is what it's been selling at consistently for the last year. And once the hype from the movie dies down a little bit, and before X-Men 97 season 2 kicks in, I don't know, they got to call it season 2 or they got to call it X-Men 98. I want to know that one. Because remember, Gambit should be playing a key role in that, and I think that's going to respark interest in Gambit. That'll affect this book less than a different book on the list later on. But do not buy this book at 180 bucks. Wait for it to just go back down to its normal 120 to 130 if you want to add this to your collection. And then you could start. You could probably shop for a bargain for about 110. Number 19. Interesting. Star Wars #1. This book, just like all books, have actually gone down in value. 9.6s are now under $900. A 9.6 is Star Wars #1. 9.8 is at 2,800. Now I have a 9.0, which the last sale was at 306. Now what's funny is this book is still sorry, too much watermelon. This book has still continued to drop, even though I think because of lack of good Star Wars content. But still, this is anything above a 9. I think it's a really good buy. Now, last year, about a year and a half ago, when a 9.0 was FMVing for about 430, I was able to get a really, really good buy. I got one for 300 bucks. So it's right now dropped down to where I got it. So if I had waited, I would still be paying the same price. I don't feel bad. If it continues to drop, I'm going to feel bad. Now, if you're going to buy this book, this is very, very important, guys. Next to Luke here, if it says reprint, then it's a reprint. If it's missing the barcode scan, the scan, what do you call it? The barcode down there, UPC code, it's a reprint. It has to look like this. It has to have a barcode here, not say the word reprint, not diamond patterned, 30-cent. There were a lot of reprints of this book, and there is no direct sale of this book. It was his only newsstand. There is a 35-cent variant, but for the prices of that, if you want to sell your car or cars to go buy it, go for it. Just make very, very sure that you are purchasing a correct Star Wars and not a reprint of this book. It may be a bit more expensive. I know people love buying raws, but this is one of those ones that I would highly advise buying one already slabbed, and hopefully CGC/CBCS got it right. They didn't mess it up. It's not like they would ever grade a facsimile Ultimate Fallout 4 as a real book. Anyway, that being said, some of the prices here, 150 for a 7.0, 175 for 7.5. You can get some really good mid-grade books here for not really killing your bank account. So that's nice. What was that highest grade? A 9.8 did sell for $9,600 in 2022. Now it's selling for $2,800. Ooh, that's bad. All right, number 18. We have Daredevil number 183, the first Daredevil versus Punisher. Now, this is gaining a lot of steam hype because of the announcement and that we know we're getting John Bernthal. It came out on stage for Daredevil Born Again. However, people are like, oh, we're going to get Daredevil versus Punisher. We already got Daredevil versus Punisher if you watch the first 3 seasons that were on Netflix that are now controlled by Disney and on Disney Plus. They are considering that canon. So This is not, you're not going to see the first time Daredevil versus Punisher in the MCU. We've already seen it. All right. Now that being said, 183 for a 9.8, 74 for a 9.6, or real high grade Raws selling for say 20, 25 bucks. That's a good book. Okay. Again, it's not a hard book to find in good condition. I remember seeing a lot of these. I think this was still during the Miller run. And everybody was collecting and immediately bagging and boarding the Millers. So this was the hottest book at that time when it first came out in 1982. So you'll find a lot of them. Hi, Kenneth. How's it going? Good to see you. I would go for a raw on this. There's enough of them out there. 20, 25 bucks to try to find a real nice high grade raw. I would hang off on the graded ones and the overprice on that just because the news that just came out during D23. So number 17 on the list, we have Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8. The here we go. Origin of alien symbiote that later becomes Venom, and this is Black Suit, which is a few months after Spider-Man 252 and the Marvel Team Up and all the other fun ones. Iconic cover. A lot of people, this is one of those books that you want to have in your collection. 9.8s are now $430. 2021, 2022. This book cracked 1,000. Okay, so it's less than half of that. You can't see that here because it shows the highest value of the 9.9 at 16.8, and that same book just sold a couple months ago for 10.8. So, oh boy, that lost $6,000. I personally think that your best value on trying to buy this is around the 9.4, 9.6 range. Go 9.6 because the price difference is really not that big a difference. Everybody wants that 9.8, but you can knock off a couple $100 if you want to try to keep your price really down. Shoot for an 8.5, 160, 7.5, 145. Here's a 9.0 just sold for 164. There's no specific news on this right now. We know we got the Venom movie coming out, the Venom Part 3. I really don't think that's spiking this as much as it is Spider-Man 300 and 316 and stuff like that. But we do know we have Secret Wars. Will we see this then? I don't think so. I think it's going to be the Secret Wars 2015 run. But this is a book that's take advantage of the market if you can and get yourself a decent copy. Next on the list, we've got Ain't No Grave, number 4, the 1 in 25 Scotty Young. And he still continues to kill it with these covers. I can't even imagine how hard it is to get that cover with all that black in a high grade. So this just came out last week, 1 in 25, and it is selling for, well, highest, somebody pre-bought it, paid 60. Now it's selling for 40 to 46. So it'll probably come down a little bit more. Storyline is supposed to be really good on this, so but not everybody is going to want to get every single ratio variant. I think enough stores are buying enough copies of this that every store got at least one of these. Some probably two. So what are you looking at? A 1 in 4,000 run? It's not that rare. Hold off on it; it'll drop. Next up, we have X-Men 266. There's what I was talking about. My dogs just went nuts for some reason. Okay. So we got X-Men 266, the second appearance of Gambit. They're actually saying it that way now in the first cover appearance. Some people still call it the first appearance. It was supposed to be the first, whatever. If you were reading comic books and you bought the annuals, by the time this book came out, you already knew who Gambit was. So it's not the first appearance. 9.8s on this book have dropped a little bit more, 550 now. 9.6s, 260, 9.4s, 195. There is a newsstand. There's a Mark Jewelers. There's facsimiles. There's all sorts of stuff on this. 8.0, 8.5 just sold for 130. Nice. Very nice. High grade raws, near mint and near mint pluses. Well, near mint going for 103, near mint plus going for 208. That's a bit much to pay for a real high mint. I wouldn't pay $200 for a raw. Not when a 9.6 is 260 because one piece of little fly poop on there that you don't see, and you've got yourself a 9.6, and you no, there's no point to it. I think it's I would feel safer buying the 260 and cracking it open if I really wanted a high grade raw. But right now we've got a little bit more hype still on Gambit because of the Deadpool movie. So uh, just give it a little bit more time. We're only in the third week. It just broke $1 billion last weekend. So another 3 weeks, you're going to see this book start to drop. Okay, so this one is actually really interesting to me. We've got Daredevil issue number 14. This is the first cover appearance of Muse. It's not his first appearance. First appearance is number 11. Number 11 is not on the list. Um, So we have the only recent sale on this is a 9.4 of this book sold for 59, and high grade raws selling for 36 ish. Okay. Now we know we're getting Muse in the show. Well, it's been that information has been broken enough. I guess they've taken all the episodes they put together, and I think they're making that into 2 seasons instead of one long season. I'm actually re-binging Daredevil on Disney Plus just so I'm ready. But Muse is supposed to be in it. Now, I don't know if that's been confirmed by Disney, or like extremely heavily rumored. But Muse is dead in the comics. So don't expect Muse to survive the TV show. And will they make him the way he's supposed to be made, like he is in the comics? Or are they going to change his powers like they did with Echo because they just didn't like the way they were? Anyway, I think if done right, Muse could be fantastic in live screen. And I think that's a good reason why John Bernthal would be there to try to take him out, or at least assist in that. That would be a good storyline, in my opinion. This book did really spike up. This book at number 11 did spike up last year when the news first broke that we were getting Muse into Daredevil Born Again. But after hearing about it being the script being thrown out and rewritten and redone and reshoots and everything else, this book tanked badly because everybody thought, okay, never mind, Daredevil itself is going to be horrible. And I think also seeing him in She-Hulk didn't help. We don't want to see Matt Murdock doing the walk of shame. But the rumors are that he is still going to be in it. It's written very well. And we may see... I don't think this book is a good one to invest in. Again, because this character is not going to survive whatever season he's in. I'd be looking more for Bullseye, honestly. That's just too main a character to not have there. So next up, we got Blood Hunt, number 5, the 1 in 25. This is from 2 weeks ago. And from what I was reading, this book originally was selling for like 20, and now it's up to 45. Why? Because we've got Doom on the cover. Everything's Doom. So Doom is all the hype right now. We knew we were going to get Doom. It's like saying, well, we're going to get an X-Men movie. Do you think there'll be Magneto? Yeah, you think? So, yes. Just like we're getting Fantastic Four. Do you think we'll get Galactus and Silver Surfer and Doom? Yes. So once we got some kind of confirmation, now everybody's freaking out. Once the freak out is over, it'll go back down in price. And I think all these Blood Hunts, the 1 in 25s, are not a great investment, especially since this one is not even the red band. All right, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Number 12 on the list, the Power Fantasy, the 1 in 100 ratio. Very interesting color palette on this, I got to say. And there's a couple different Power Fantasies on this list. From what I understand of the storyline, it's 7 individuals on Earth simultaneously get the superpowers with the equivalent power of destroying the planet. And what are they going to do with it? Let's find out. So this is the 1 in 100. I don't know how many stores ordered the 1 in 100. I mean, ordered in 100 copies. Um, I don't know. So $137 is what this is selling for. 1 in 100. It's a little bit over ratio. It depends on if the story's good. And even that, I don't know. I have no faith in ratios these days. I would just try to avoid it. And rounding out the bottom 10, at least this is not in the top 10 anymore. The What If Iron Man Demon in an Armor. What if Doctor Doom swaps minds with Tony Stark? In 2010, again, because we saw RDJ on the stage take off the mask. And the picture does fit him taking the mask off on the stage, but this is all driven by hype right now. We have 9.8s selling for $500. Raw's high grade Raw selling for 125. Oh my god. Okay. Um I think this is going to be a trifecta here. This might be the third week in a row. This is my rubber band to the butt pick. Oh my god. No. No, no, no. All right, I found the secret variant of Power Fantasy. Awesome. Um I'm seeing a lot of different sales for that on eBay. Some places are reporting it. Oh, it's selling for $130. No, it's not. It's selling for like 15. But I think in the long run, that's going to be the equivalent of like the secret variants, which turn out to be like a 1 in 10 for Department of Truth, where you had the number one, we had Kennedy on one and Lee Harvey Oswald on the other. It's nice to have the two books side by side. Yeah, I was able to get mine too. But I want to say thank you to everybody who supports the channel, the YouTubers, the Patreon members, and we're just going to stop real quick in between before we jump into the top 10 and give them their due. Everybody say thank you to the people that help make this channel possible. Okay, we're back and we're going to be jumping right into the top 10. Coming in number 10, we have a pre-release of a book coming out this week. And I clicked the wrong button and there it is. This is Transformers number 11, Ultra Magnus. Now this is a thank you book, so I assume this is a one per store. I guess this is a supersized, it's a Daniel Warren Johnson. I don't know how good the book is. I don't know how good the storyline is. It's a number 11. Is it a first appearance? Possibly. I don't know. The one thing I can say is $90, $93. Really? Okay, I'm going to point out another book that was a one per store, super hot title, went for about $100 when it first came out, and now it goes for like 10 or 15. Stray Dogs. They had a one per store. Thank you. Okay. I actually thought it was going to go up. I bought it at like $90. I sent it. Thankfully I got a 9.8 on it. So it's kind of held the value of, I guess about $90 for a 9.8, but the regular Raw is like 10, $15 now. So the one per store is everybody's like, oh, it's only one per store. There's 2,200 stores in North America. So you're looking at a 1 in 2,200. If it was 1 in 500, I'd have a better shot. But none of these one per stores ever really hold value. So don't go rush into your store to purchase this, please. Coming in number 9, another thank you book. The Power Fantasy number 1. Now this one is going for 101, 118. Last one was 118. Okay, so there's a lot of hype already with the Power Fantasy. You've got the number 1, you've got the Chase, you got the 1 in 100. Will we even see this book on this list in any form or fashion in 2 or 3 weeks, or will the next thank you book, 1 in 100, new number one, dominate. You think about this is August. How many different number ones we've seen on this list just this year? That was, oh my God, this is going to be the next greatest thing. It's going to be the next Something's Killing the Children. And it's not, they're not. So, uh, yeah, one per store is still 2,200. The 1 in 100 might actually be a harder book to get than this one. Maybe. All right. Let's see. Let's do the math on that. There's one per 100, and you have to make 2,200 copies. So it'd be 220,000 copies. Yeah, the 1 in 100 would be a rarer book than this. All right. Number 8. We have to look at it another week, guys. One of the ugliest Iron Man Doctor Doom covers ever. The Invincible Iron Man number 11 from 1997. So we know this is high print, low quality. Just fill it in with a magic marker. Just whatever. And we are 9.4 sold for $54. High grade raw is on for 28 to 16. And when I say high grade, I'm saying near mint is 9.0, 9.4, $16. Near mint plus 9.6 to 10.0, $28. You're looking at $20. Or if you want to wait, just wait a couple months or you get this book right back where it belongs at $3. Right now, dealers are going through every dang Iron Man book that they have, and or anything that has Doctor Doom on it. But if it's an Iron Man book that has Doctor Doom on it, oh my God, they're putting it right there in the window of the store. They got to sell it. They got to sell it now. This is how they can get rid of them. A Doctor Doom cover. Who would have thought? It's a really cool cover though. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars from the first run, 1985, issue number 10. This is a 12-part series, and this one is the direct issue. We've got highest known for a 9.8, $500, currently selling for $275, so about half of its highest value. 9.6, $128, and that was a day after a 9.4 sold for $159. So I don't think this one's going to have the legs to keep up these super high prices. This is going to be one of those first ones to come down. Because as people go to shows, they say, well, they want to buy one. They're going to realize that every dealer's got 5. It's too many of these. I highly recommend, if you have never read the Secret Wars storyline from 1985, 84/85, to pick up reprints of it or an omnibus or something. But it's a good story. Or low-grade raws. That works too. Yeah, don't buy this book now. But you do want to put this one in your collection. It's a cool book. It looks even better in person than it does. And when you read the story and you really understand what the covers mean, because unlike the covers of today, what you see on the cover actually happens in the book. All right, let's move this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At number 6, we've got Deadpool, issue number 31, the direct edition from 2014. First full appearance of Ellie Camacho, the daughter of Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool. All right, so I think we talked about this last week, that there's a new series which has her in it. I don't read the Deadpool. I don't read the Deadpool, but I see the current trend is it's already down almost 17%. So whatever it had hype last week, I think it's quantity of sales, not high prices that are spiking this onto this list. Near Mint Plus selling for 50 and 9.8 selling for 160. FMV of 161. So it looks like it's actually, it has dropped in both slabs and Near Mint. Raws are going about the same, but it does look like the 9.8 slabs have dropped a little bit. Yeah, 9.8 August 1st sold for 250. Now selling for 160. Okay. 90. So it's already dropped 36% at 9.8 in 2 weeks. Expected to drop more. Not the greatest cover, but it's okay. I don't know. Again, I don't know much about the character. Just hold off on it. If it's dropped that fast, people are going to start panicking and lowering the prices so they can get rid of the book, which will drive it down even faster. Let's get into that top 5 here. We've got Avengers number 25. Enter Doctor Doom. Yes, no specific keys here. Like first time, this, that, what, doesn't mean anything. You got the Avengers, you got Doctor Doom, you've got 1966, you got 12 cents. That doesn't get any better than that unless it was Fantastic Four on the cover. So, all right. What do we got for prices on this? It was on the list last week, too. The 9.6 sold in April 2023 for $3,300. I'd be okay with that, actually. No sales of a 9.8 that are recorded. All right, so highest grade raw that sold recently is $279 for a 6.5. Wow. But if you go back to May, a 7.0 to 8.5 sold for $190. So this book has dramatically gone up. People are looking for it and scooping up the raws. Let's see. That was 5.0 to 6.5. Yeah, look at this. FMV, I'm going to say the FMV price and recent sale price. 6.0, 333, 400. 6.5, 336, 425. It's funny, you get to the higher grades and it's kind of level. 8.5, 796, 775. 8.0, 505, 500. People are trying to buy those lower grades because that's all people might be holding on to the higher grades, or just how much money they can actually spend because of the current economy. Yeah, you don't get under 100 till you get down under a 3. So, but you see some of the raws, a very good 3.0 to 4.5 sold for 77 as a raw. That might be a better bet if you just want to get one of these books. Try to find one in a raw, and that way you can also kind of debate the quality, like the grade. But we know we're getting Avengers. We know we're getting Doom. We know it's going to be part of Secret Wars. You're not going to see this exact picture. I think I said this last week. Definitely not going to see the purple costume with the H on it. But this is a good book to have, just not right now because of all the Doom news. Keep your eyes out for bargains, but wait for it. Hulk issue number 1, the first appearance of Red Hulk on the cover. He doesn't appear on the inside story until issue number 2 or 3. 2021, when we first knew we were getting Red Hulk, its book shot up to 600. It's currently selling for $305 in a 9.8 or $170 in a 9.6. High grade raws going for $100 to $150. This book is going to... My biggest thing about this, and I've said it before, and I sound so morbid, and I'm sorry. I don't think that we are going to have Red Hulk for a long period of time. The reason being is Red Hulk is Thaddeus Ross. After, oh my goodness, William Hurt passed away. It was William Hurt played him, right? After the guy that was playing him passed away, they, not William Hurt, whatever. They recast Harrison Ford. I love Harrison Ford. I love everything he's ever done. Okay. But he's in his 80s. He is not going to be playing a character in the MCU for the next 20 years. I think they cast him in this role so he could do a really good job for one movie. And I think by the end of the movie, Thaddeus Ross / Red Hulk is going to be eliminated from the MCU. Okay. And it's sad because I think that it would be a great character to have, but I just don't think... I think that when this movie comes out, this character is going to crash about as fast as Gore the God Butcher. So wait till then. Coming up number 3. I remember to put that back on. Hey, we got the Power Fantasy number 1, the Chase issue. Now, I have no idea how many these things there are. I got a feeling it's a 1 in 10. The store said that it was almost like equal amounts. So if that's the case, then this really is going to be a cover price book. Current trend is already down 11.86. We got high grade raw selling for 30, now down to 20, and I've seen them on eBay more like 15. If you're buying one off of eBay, please watch out for those shipping costs. Okay, you'd rather get one for 15 with like $7 shipping than one for 10 with $20 shipping. So just add those things together and make sure that you understand that the shipping, everything, it's all coming out of your wallet. So it's a total price. That being said, hold off on the book. It's already starting to drop after 1 week. It's going to drop. It was oh my god, how many are there? And then people started realizing how many there actually are. This is not going to hold any kind of value. Number 2 on the list, X-Men 251. This was last week's number 1. And we have a brand new book on the number 1 spot that was not even on the list. Mm-hmm. Okay, so issue 251, it's got Wolverine on the cross. Sticker Buns, I don't know if you're still listening, but the this scene does of the cover of the comic appears in the Deadpool movie. It doesn't have any bearing on the storyline. It's just they paid an homage in one. What do you people that saw it? What do you think it was, like an 8-second scene, if that, of this cover? That being said, it was so beautifully done. It made me gasp. So I can understand everybody wanted to get this book, but it's only like the flavor of the week. Okay, this is not going up. It's not a first appearance. It's not anything other than this scene appeared in the movie. You know, just like that one issue of Secret Wars appeared on the floor, and where's that now? Oh boy, I'm so excited! I saw Deadpool Wolverine, and there was this iconic cover from yes. So I went and bought the book. I bought it wrong, got a great deal. Only about 60 raw. Well, if you did, then you paid more than any recorded sale. So I hope you didn't. I'm hoping that you got a raw for more like 20. Hey, guys, you got to give a lot of credit. That took a lot to type. All right. So, yeah, I love this book, and I'm going to own this book at some point. I'm going to 9.8, but I'm not paying $300 for this book. I'm waiting for it to drop back down to 120. All right. Let's wait. Did I get ripped off? It depends on your point of view, because you may be able to find somebody else and sell it for 200 right now. If you do, then did you get ripped off? All right, let's hit number 1 on the list here. Uncanny X-Men number 1. This is the Hidden Gem 1 in 50. Now, first off, I'm going to say this. That is a damn beautiful cover. I love that cover. Now, first cameo appearance of the Outliers. This is selling currently, highest known sale 133, but actual, and that was on August 5th. Now selling for 63, 75, 70-ish for 150. Here's the problem. Stores can buy one of these for cover price for every 50 books they bought. Okay? Show more. Look how many covers there were for X-Men number 1. Now, this is pre-orders, like your pull lists, people putting them up on the wall. Maybe they want to give some away. There's a ton of books. There was an easy way for these guys to buy 200 copies of this book. Maybe more. So let's just say the average store got 200 copies of this book. That means your average store has 4 copies of this. Your bigger stores, this is X-Men number 1 of a new launch. You know this is going to be sold. Everybody's going to buy it. Or people are going to buy multiple covers. Your bigger stores are probably going to get 10 to 15 of these. Now, so that averages out to, let's just be conservative, 5 per store. Times 2,200 stores. It's over 10,000 of these. There's just too many of them to hold a lot of value. I think it'll be on this list for a while, but I think in the long run, this book is going to drop in price. There'll be a little spike next week because this hit both the CBSI and the cover price lists. So there's going to be a lot of people that look at it and go, oh my God, that's a great book. I got to find this. It sold for as much as $83. Sold for $133. Oh, I just found it for 65, 70. It's going to be a lot of people buying this book. See if I can get caught up here. Beautiful cover. And I'm a cover collector now because the stories aren't that great. I hear you. You want to know what I am? I'm a collector of older books. I don't think. What do I think this book is going to be in 6 months? I don't know. It depends on what it does next week. If next week it shoots up, then I'll probably wind up settling back down to where it is now and be 45, $50 in the long run. If next week it's still at 45, 50, then this book is going to drop down to 20. Yeah. Check with your stores. eBay is going to be sold out or super high price. They're going to be putting a lot of those, $150 our best offer. Well, I can offer you $20. I just don't think it's going to hold the value, unfortunately. We got to wait to see what it does next week. All right, so that is the full list. But what I got to do now is my gun to the head pick, which means I have to pick a book off this list that if I were to buy today, I think would have the best chance out of all 20 to go up in value, or if they're all going to go down, the one that will go down the least. And by least, I mean, I'm going to say percentage wise. What book? And if it's an older book, I get to pick which grade. Okay, so which book would I go after? For me, I'm doing that one. And yeah. Okay, so my pick for my gun to the head pick. And I'll tell you what grade I would go for, and then you can pick whichever grade you would go for. But I'm going for that. Wrong one. Star Wars #1. This is a book that, I know fans are mad right now, but it's still an iconic book. It's a key, and I'm going for a 9.4. If I had a chance to get a 9.4 for 408, I wouldn't want to take that jump up to 900 for a 9.6. But 9.4 for 408, which would be a nice little boost up from my 9.0. I would do that. If I were just looking for a lower grade copy, I'd probably be shooting for a 7.0. Because if one just sold for 150, I would use that as my bargaining chip. Another 7.0 just sold for 150. That's what I'd be shooting for. So, yeah, that's my gun to the head pick, because even though it's come down and the entire market is down, this is a book that when it goes up because of two different markets, the comic book market and the Star Wars market. Something happens in Star Wars #1 goes up. Bronze Age comics as a whole start going up, Star Wars #1 goes up. So anytime you get something that can capitalize on two different markets at the same time, it's a great thing. It's kind of like getting silver coins. The coin market goes up, the silver coin goes up. If the price of silver goes up, the silver coin goes up. Okay, so now I've got to pick my rubber band to the butt. Worst pick. I don't even have to look. Sorry, I don't even have to look. We're going for the trifecta here. The three-peats. I probably owe Phil Jackson about 7 cents for saying that, because he trademarked it. Of What If, Iron Man, Demon in an Armor. Seriously? $500 for 9.8? No. Heck no. I'm not giving more than 200 for it. It's a cool cover. The only reason I would want to have that book in a real high grade is if somehow RDJ does a signing. Then I'd be interested in that. RDJ doesn't do signings, so I'm not interested in that. All right, so I want to know, what do you guys think as far as the best pick off this list, the worst pick off this list? I mean, we've got some interesting books, and it's not quite as heavy as it was last week. Oof. Fine, we'll just do that. Get rid of me. Last week we did not have the X-Men #1, the Power Fantasy. I think the Deadpool 31 was there. That Power Fantasy, that Transformers number 11, that Power Fantasy. Muse was not on the list. That Blood Hunt was not on the list. Obviously, the Ain't No Grave, the Daredevil, Star Wars number 1, and that Gambit. There's quite a few books that popped up on this list this week, which is good. But what do you think? What are the best choices, worst choices? What is there any book that you're surprised is not on the list? Is there a book that you're surprised is on the list? Again, they're just reporting what we're doing. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys, because I want to go see, get another episode of Daredevil back into the frontal lobe of my brain. I'm on season 2 now. Again, I think it's the 4th time I'm watching it, but it's comfort food for me. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to say thank you to everybody for helping support the channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click on those notifications so you know when more videos are dropping. I want to be able to say thank you again to every single person who helps make this channel possible. Don't forget to go to Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics, the Comic Vet, Comics Curing Cancer, C3. Get those donations in, everybody. Come on, man. We got to get those donations ready. So we are there for the first weekend in October, which I checked out the schedule at work. I'm not working. So we can buy comics, which wind up going to the American Cancer Society and saving lives. You want to be a hero? That's how you do it. All right, guys. Have a great one. Until I see you in the next video. Mahalo.